in the
Yep.
back trunk of the kid's car. And
Yep.
he's-
Okay, put your,
Make sure it's turning lights on.
So you got a lot of the markers back?
Well, some, yeah, some more, which is good.
but to be able to find all those flags, and it's
Yeah.
obviously someone had picked them up and
Yeah.
saved them and didn't want to keep them around.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, any public comment on non-agenda items? Hearing none, we'll move on. Okay, an update on the select board workshop. Karen, John, and Jeff.
Yeah. Well, on the select board workshop, there was nothing, at the end of the day, there was nothing finalized, determined, or voted on. It was just information back and forth only. I don't know how much more you need to know about this, but I've done a lot of research since our last meeting on green burials. And we have a lot more to do.
Now, was there any additional information provided on the green burials from what we had at our last meeting?
No.
Not really, except there was, they provided a, well, not a map, but an overview of the area that they would like to have for the green burial.
Okay, okay.
I think there was good discussion, though. We had,
Yeah,
everybody,
it
we
was-
talked through it. And there's some, what their ideas were at least presented.
Yeah.
Which is something we haven't really seen.
Okay.
They showed a map when like Jeff pointed out, with the concept driveways, roads, whatever you want to call it, they want to put in. I mean, there's still a long ways we got to go.
Oh, yeah.
But I think they, I'd like to thank them for at least what they presented.
It was kind of left that we, once budget and all that is finished up, that it might be a good idea to have the cemetery person from Warren come over.
Amanda
Because Warren has approved-
Shomodine.
Yeah, Warren has approved doing a green burial area. So they've been through it and, know the ins and outs, so.
Yeah, she has agreed
Yeah.
to do that. And I have a very large letter that I can share with the group from her about the things that they had to go through and the soil and all of that. And the other thing that came up was, in the meeting, they talked about trails that the green burial people wanted to put in and, pre-digging holes and all of that. And I explained to them very briefly that we don't have the money for that.
Yeah.
We cannot maintain the trails. We can't go digging up hay bales and we just don't have it. So that's something that they're going to have to look at to see if they can do freezers or if they want to create a trust fund to do it. The other thing I found, which I thought was interesting, is that we legally can tell them no. The town cannot. So if they want to find a piece of property somewhere in town that they assign as a green burial site, the town cannot stop them from doing it.
Right.
But it doesn't have to be on the existing cemeteries.
No, it doesn't have to be. But that's, that's the,
But that was part of their conversation. They talked about, I think Susan was talking about the finances of it. There is no financing right now.
Ah.
That's something that had to come up. And it was also the impact of the families that were going to use this method of burial, because they even have to pay to clear a path to get to do what the site is. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. We got to make sure it doesn't, whatever happens, doesn't impact the already existing cemetery. I mean, so everything's got to be thought out. They're a ways away.
It's a long way away. But when you look at the journey that Amanda Shomodine had on this, it wasn't just a year. It was quite a few years before she got this.
Yeah, I think you
in place.
made a good point, Karen, and that was one of the main takeaways, that it's not going to happen right away. It'll take a while. But one of the other takeaways is that we, the cemetery committee, we would need to do a soils map to find out and then settle the question of where the plots will be, whether they are assigned plots. in a grid pattern or a more organic pattern, but that is an early topic that needs to be addressed is where are the soils good and where would the plots be?
But at this point, with the cost of this and what our budget is, I'd say this is a big no from us.
Well, thank you for the update and thanks for attending. However, I was extremely disappointed with the select board chair and some members of the select board that went out there and did a site walk with these folks. Had a, and then called for a special workshop without any discussion with the committee.
Right.
They were called out on it.
Right, but still, they didn't even call and say, hey, what's going on here? There could have been a lot of information given that would have saved people a lot of time. But just the definite lack of communication and there again, it wasn't the way I thought town politics worked, but maybe it does. Okay, on to the Oak Hill North Long Range Planning. Since this came up, I figured it'd be a good time to talk a little bit about the long range plan for, okay, I'll pass around this first map, which is what we have there now.
That's existing.
That's existing.
Okay.
Back in 1992, the committee started to develop the north portion of Oak Hill property. Proposed site plan was developed with Mike Farmer. Once we approved a concept, we prepared for development, including a boundary survey, drainage studies, preliminary wetland delineation. And once we had the required documents, we went to the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Planning Board to get approvals. We finally received approval in 2000. And that was permitted to develop about 3.5 acres, about 14 to 1,500 burial sites.
That's in the woods?
That's in this one here.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
green area here.
Right,
So
okay.
that's part of that whole piece that we looked at back then and to develop that. And at that time, we developed a long-range plan, which is on this plan, which I'll pass around, which shows potential development for the rest of the site. But there is significant wetlands up there. So in 2004, we detailed a plan for phase one, which is basically what we built. And that was 448 graves. Then in 2014, we added another 64 graves in layout, basically having it surveyed and pins put on so we could sell them. And then there was a section developed for raised stones and monuments. Then in 2023, we laid out some more graves and completed some pavement. So currently we have developed 832 grave sites at that location. Any expansion will require updated information, drawings to submit to the planning board and ZBA. Would include site plan, wetlands, vernal pool identifications now. Since we did that, the vernal pools have been a big issue. Had to identify them and then monitor them for a period of time, do soils testing. Wetland and vernal pool identification to help develop any future development. The vernal pools could require restrictions up to 250 feet in some form or fashion. Unless we have to go with a big EPA permit, NRPA. Wetland delineation for 8 to 10 acres additional to what we have now be almost $8,000. So that would be just the initial wetland identification. Once that's done, we could develop a site plan showing where we can expand. And doing that will probably be another $5,000 for planning. Constructing a road up to 600 feet long, up to the next stone wall on the fork in the trail, clearing some understory brush, that could be another $30,000 to $40,000 from the prices I got just recently. It's not like it used to be where you could just throw some gravel down and bulldoze it over. Then a lot layout and pinning, another $5,000 or $6,000. So it could be a total cost as much as $48,000 to $60,000 to develop another phase up in there. 600 feet would include the area where I think that they were talking about doing this. Under our current budget, we were required to withdraw in excess of $40,000 from our investment account. With what we have in investments and even figuring a 6.8% return, we're going to have just enough money in there this year to cover our expenses for mowing. Up until 2020, the town had appropriated $46,000 to assist us in the cemeteries, for both cemeteries. Now we depend on perpetual care investments for all of our expenses. You know, they don't cover any of the veterans' expenses for maintaining those graves or anything. So over the last 5 years, the town administration has refused to recognize or support our budget request that we put in almost every year to add that back in. With the current funds available, it's not responsible to commit any significant funds for the expansion up there. So unless someone else has any better ideas, I would say for now, we could probably put this to bed.
Okay, could you back up a second?
Sure.
And you said that the budget committee or the select board has not approved money for the cemetery?
Correct. We've requested that for
Yes.
Mowing.
5 or 6 years. We were requested to put that on the budget as a request.
Okay,
It hasn't made it through the administration's office to get onto the budget. So
so it hasn't even come before
No.
the budget
No.
committee?
we've requested it every year for some support, and
Oh.
and without any discussion. The funds were taken away with no discussion. So
Who makes that decision? Okay.
Chip, do you have a number for what the veterans part would be?
what we figured that up one time. I don't have it off the top of my head, but it was,
Don't have it on top. of my
Because the
head.
town's obligated by law to maintain
Yeah.
veterans' graves, no matter what.
we figured that up. What was it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, we could
Yeah,
push,
I can't-
What was it?
could push it through the budget committee. You can still put it through without going through the select board. As a budget committee request, I mean, as a cemetery request.
Was it 900 veterans? Something like that up there?
I think so.
what do you
If it was
mean?
900 at $50 a year, I mean, that's $45,000, which was about what we were getting.
Yeah, because it's
So-
like 50, 45, 50
Yeah.
was taken out.
So, okay, so I just figured I'd bring that information up and show you those maps for what we've done in the past.
Do you have those maps on a file? Because I'd love to see.
Yeah,
it.
they're right there, and
I
Jody
mean,
has.
is there something you can email
Yeah,
me?
Jody has it, yeah.
But this would be a good time to consider presenting that veterans thing again,
Yep.
because there must be right about to start budget process, right? Coming up soon.
Soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely should. I mean, we depended on that for many years to supplement that. That's why we're able to do, and Mountain View is a different story. We have more funds up there. But that's how we're able to go ahead and pave some sections up there at Oak Hill and develop that next section because we had the funds available to do that. So,
But all of this would be a good case to present to the budget committee and the select board in the
Yep.
town.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of stuff going on. So in order to keep up with the program and keep,
Yep.
they need to have some more money.
What would have to be done to get the administration to put that on the budget committee? He's saying it doesn't even go that far.
No, because this doesn't go through the board vote. But you could certainly bring it up when you go to the budget committee on the cemetery appropriations. You could bring it up then.
Okay.
I mean, I'd be willing to go. If somebody else would go with me, we could, Certainly.
On the budget
Okay.
committee.
right?
okay. Great. Any questions on development plan for up there and everyone want to take a vote on whether or not to proceed with anything up there at this time?
I make a motion, we do not proceed
Okay.
at current timing.
Okay.
We're not ready for it.
No, I second.
I mean, it's, okay,
Excuse me, what are you not voting for or voting for?
moving forward with any development plans for that side. Right now, I mean, we could do a vernal pools testing vernal pools, pay $8,000 for vernal pools testing. That would be the first step before any development whatsoever up there.
Do we have the money?
Well, that was what I was gonna say. I mean, we still could, if they want to continue to do some investment and some work to check it, they best have some funding.
Yeah,
That's the thing, because we do not have the funding at the present because we're doing other
Correct.
projects.
Right.
Which have been underway for
Yeah.
some time.
I mean, we can table that discussion on the vernal pool monitoring until our next meeting to see if there are any funds available to do that. But those investigations need to be done in the spring. And you need to schedule it now and get them on people's agenda to schedule to do it. They'll go in, as soon as the snow melts, they'll go out and investigate, map them, wait a few weeks and then go count the egg masses and determine if there's significant vernal pools or not.
Well, one way you could do this is, since the board sees you pushing this on their own at some point, some part, is to say, okay, pony up 10 grand or something out of your contingency fund to fund the vernal pool investigation.
Okay?
Right, sir?
That's the way.
Okay. Well, but that would be required for any development up there at all,
No
so.
matter
so,
Green Burials
uh,
or us,
yeah.
right.
And it's just that it would probably, if there's so much time lapse between this and the next one, might have to update it, but yeah, we'll table it for our next meeting.
I think we should go ahead with the vernal pools. If we have the funds for it, let's do it, because it benefits the cemetery committee as much
Right.
as.
Yeah, but we don't need to know.
We don't
for-
have the funds at this time.
Oh, we
for
don't?
one,
All right.
no,
then
But
no.
we've already located 832 graves, whatever the number was, for
Yeah.
future growth.
Yeah.
We'll be a long way before we even think about
Yeah.
getting in that area.
Right.
So we don't need to spend the money as a
I see, okay.
cemetery
Yeah.
at this time.
So, okay.
There was a motion in a second.
Okay.
I second.
All those in
that.
favor? All those
What's
opposed?
the motion?
The motion is to just put everything on hold.
On hold, okay, fine.
Can I get hands? Everybody?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we'll still keep the discussion open.
Yep.
I don't want to think that we're,
Yeah.
sitting on it.
Maintenance update. Jeff, any comments on how the year went on your stuff up there?
Yeah, a couple comments. Ted and Zach were there pretty much full-time, all mowing season and leaf season. We had a few exceptions when we had some town-related urgent matters to take care of, but for the most part, they were dedicated there
Yeah.
3 hours a week, each
Good.
week. We were successful in removing that enormous pile of acorns. That was, and that, it's that's pretty significant expense, as you can imagine, getting rid of all of those acorns that we didn't plan for, but it was necessary. We just had that bad of a year of acorns
Yeah.
last year, and it was just,
Yeah.
had to do something with them. We were able to also, there was excess dirt at both cemeteries, just that accumulated over years from, digging graves. And,
Yep.
so we were able to remove that as well and repurpose it actually over at the Snow Bowl, which I think was great for everybody.
Yep.
It got it out of the cemeteries, it
Yep.
didn't need to be there, and allows us now to have that area again, as we accumulate more dirt, to have a place to put it without it being some obnoxious pile.
Good.
So,
Good.
the other thing on our watch list are the massive tree.
Randy,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Randy, you want to take the mic?
Thanks, Ken.
No.
We had that tree limb, I definitely don't need two. Tree limb come down, hurt the fence, and, I've probably been in there 3 or 4 times now, looking at that tree and looking at some other trees. It's just knowing life of those trees. And, I think we were very fortunate this time that massive limb, which very easily could have destroyed headstones, amazingly missed all of them and just took out that fence. But
certainly a watch item, and just to, for everybody who's in there to keep an eye on.
Have you suggested remove the trees so you don't have the acorns or the damage potential?
I wasn't, but now that you mention it, Randy, I love the trees there. I do. I think that old growth is very aesthetically pleasing within the cemeteries, but the acorns are definitely problematic for us. And my biggest concern though are just the danger associated with those limbs falling. That's all.
A lot of those trees
John-
get-
John? John?
John? Yeah. Is it time, Jeff, to look for an arborist to get an estimate on having some of these trees trimmed up so they aren't a safety hazard?
Well, we've got some people on site, I mean, that we use we have people that we use for trimming trees and cleaning those up. We should probably put that to our tree warden and ask him for an opinion on that.
Well, I know because once we identify a danger,
Yeah, we need
Where-
to deal with it.
right, we need to deal with it, right?
So maybe we could ask the tree warden to take care of that.
Who is the tree warden now?
Dave,
Dave Sinclair.
Salemrett,
Well,
it's Dave Salemrett, Public Works.
Okay?
So is there any plan as the trees mature and they do come down to pre-plant, to have some trees growing so that they will be somewhat mature when we lose the old ones?
No, we've been trying to remove the dangerous ones now. Take care of the stumps. That's the biggest thing. Usually in the past, they've just cut the trees and left the stumps. Once we get the stumps out, because that's what does all the damage to the stones. The roots. We've got a lot of stone damage because someone plants a little tree or bush and 15, 20 years, it's
Right.
tipped everything over. So we got to be, like to plant more trees, but we need to do it and plant it. So we haven't done that yet. The only other thing, couple things I had is communication up there. I know just between your crew and the sexton, I know we had people up there working and the water was shut off without any notice. So just phone call. That and the stone damage for that one, is that something that we've got taken care of, Jody?
No, we were waiting, last I spoke to you, of how we're gonna pay for that.
Okay. Have you thought about participating in that at all, from potential damage?
I have not at this point. If you
Okay.
need me to, I can take back and look
Go
at the budget.
go take a look at it. I appreciate if you take a look at it and see what you think. There again, it's something that was obviously damaged. I don't know how it could have, we're the only ones in there with equipment, so that I know of, around that close to the graves. Unless someone actually went up and took a hammer or something, hit the side of it, but it's a chip on the top of the polished stone, so.
If it had done that, there would have been more.
Yeah.
Than just that little.
Yeah, I'd appreciate if you take a look at that.
And that's
Also,
the estimate that's included here?
yeah.
Okay.
Because it looks like it's fairly deep, so the top of it would have to be cut. So, and be going back to Rock of Ages or something like that, or wherever they had it done. The other thing is, in the spring, could you put on your list, maybe put some topsoil up against the new paving we just did? Some of the areas that little drop off, or just be able to feather that in and clean that up. I think we got plenty of material there, just a matter of getting a small bucket or something, bucket loader and a skid steer or something, and just tuning that up early in the spring so we get some grass to grow and protect that edge of that pavement. Be good. Okay. Anybody else have anything on maintenance? I think the guys did a great job last year. I mean, it's having them there all the time. It looked very good. So.
Yeah.
Okay, we talked about doing a couple more sections of restoration. We've got 3 potential areas that we could bid out. I'll pass that around. One area is just as you come down from Mountain Street, it'd be the first section on your left, running down along there, right next to all the houses downtown. We haven't done anything over there. that was an area where there was a local nonprofit, church group that was going to help clean it. They weren't going to do any restoration, but that hasn't happened, so figure maybe bid that out. Then there's a next section down from where the previous contractor, one of them had stopped, and the next sections from Avenue H to K, coming down over the hill, just doing another section there. And then there's another piece that's down on the lower side that one of the previous contractors didn't get to, just a slough right up next to the property line. So there are 3 different sections that if the committee wants, I'll work with Bruce to get together a specification, a better specification than what we had in the past, and put that back out to bid for those 3 sections. We had Tom Stevens up there, did a great job. Stones looked fantastic. We just had Bruce do a section up there. He did a real good job. He's probably about 90%, 95% complete on that. Just got caught up with the weather towards the end. But want to develop a better spec than what we had before, which the cleaning is one thing, but the restoration and we want to make sure that the foundations are fixed properly with concrete, not just chunks of slate tucked in there. I mean, we got what we wanted. We got what we specified, but I think we can do a better job in our specification. So if everyone approves, we can work on putting out a request for proposal and putting that out to bid.
Roughly how many stones are you looking at with this?
I
We were doing roughly 600 stones per.
Yeah, I didn't count them. These were sections where Tom hadn't gone to the tree line, just left a couple odd shaped sections. And then the next group down. So, yeah,
Next what down?
the next section down from where he came down over the main section from the tomb,
So you're talking right or left?
right down through the middle.
Okay.
This section here,
Yep,
okay?
Yep.
And this section here.
okay.
So,
A lot of down stones in that area.
yep. So, and then the section here, I'll pass those around. And we just develop a better spec and bring it back to the committee, and
I think that would be the way to go, yeah.
okay.
Chip, just a real quick question for you. Just looking at the budget for that. Looks like 2 years ago, we were at 50,000. Last year, we were at 12, and this year we're at 33. And
For,
for the stone restoration,
yep,
and this year 33 we've spent versus the budget of 25. Looks like, and last year the budget was 25 and we only spent 12.
Yep.
Is there a schedule to clean by zone or anything where?
no. It hadn't been done for so long. We're just trying to pick away at it a little bit at a time. That's why I want to try to get some ideas of what we want to do this year and get it into the budget. We've got, Mountain View has the funds that we can draw on to do that. But we need to plan it out. So, and then we've got another one. After that is the drainage on section 1. Let's see here. Which is, as you come up from the hill from Washington Street on the right, there's a low section there.
Yep.
That needs to be raised up and some type of a subsurface drainage put in to be able to get that all to drain properly. What I want to do is ask for approval to spend $4,000 to have Gartley and Dorsey engineer that, to develop a plan to do it. And then we can once we get that drawing, then we can get some specifications together and put it out to bid. But some of those stones are going to have to be raised up and straightened. And it's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, but the drainage needs to be done first, and it's going to be time consuming and fairly expensive. So I haven't put any numbers to it, but I would dare say it's going to be hundreds
I would bet.
to do it. But we need, this is the first step, is get the drain. We had the survey done. We had all the stones located, and we did a topo in there first. Now it's taking that topographical information and designing a system that will drain.
How many will have to be relocated until it's done over? Graves?
Don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was gonna have to be something that's gonna have to be very well coordinated, very well documented. I would foresee ground penetrating radar done before any digging's done to make sure we don't find anything we're not supposed to. But yeah, it's all those things that's part of this process that will be in the specifications when we bid it. But we need to first have to design what we need to do.
You put 4,000, is that based off from? you
Quote,
got-
I got a quote from Gatley and Dorsey to do
Good.
that.
Thank you.
So, but that's the first step on that. We met up there with them and look at it with Stacy Ann, working for him, and Will Gatley. We talked over a couple options, maybe doing some under drain, going down over the hill. There's also a potential crossing the road and going into the drainage swale, heading back up towards Gunnerhook Market up on that corner. So there again, they're going to take a look at that. So a couple different things we can do. So get approval to spend $4,000 or maybe $4,200 for $4,000 plus expenses, paper and,
Why don't we just say up to 5,000 and
okay.
cover yourself
Got a motion?
and make my.
All those in favor? All those opposed? So voted? Great. Thank you.
Goes fast.
Okay. Well, next thing is signage and maps for Mountain View. Some of the signs up to Mountain View looking pretty deteriorated, pretty faded. Signs that the one that said open half hour, hours that are open, no dogs allowed,
Where's that?
both ends, both entrances. Yeah. They're pretty well faded, can't see crooked posts. Maybe, I haven't got a price on that stuff yet, but I can look at that. It's something we want to do. And also someone suggested that we do a general map for the cemetery, showing the avenues and sections, which would tie into the GIS stuff. So there again, it's going to take someone to do some mapping, and I haven't bothered to get pricing on yet, but it's something we can do.
Is the map going to be online, or are you thinking of a map that's going to actually be sitting on the railings?
Be on the building, potentially on the building. We got maps online. We got the GIS. We haven't gone live with that yet, have we, Joey? So, but once that goes online, we'll have that GIS system.
When that goes online, when might that be?
Soon as we're comfortable with it.
This is what, 3 years into it?
Yep, it's all ready. It just,
$50,000 and we're still not there?
it's already go online. Have you looked at the link? Have you looked at it?
We looked at it a number of times.
Okay. I mean, we can put that online anytime. Link it to our site. It's just, yeah, the last meeting, they presented the final version. It's difficult to navigate. You know, after you do it 2 or 3 times, it gets easier. It's not like going to the town website and clicking on a lot. It's more of the GIS basics, so it's not real user friendly, but it's, we're getting that way. The information's there.
You want it to go live?
Go live.
Okay, I'll email them to you.
Everybody good with it?
Yep.
With it? Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be a work in progress. We're gonna have to have Letitia tune it up every once in a while. We'll have to figure out how to add stuff to it.
Please. Thanks.
And Caitlin's been working on it pretty good too. Budget discussions, you say you got the,
So there's still quite a bit that isn't ready for wages and town contracts. So I did put together last year's budget, what our years to date are, so everybody can take it home with them, put thought into what's going on. So when we come back in probably a month or so, we can finalize the budget in one meeting.
Okay.
They still plan for March, for most of the budget stuff.
okay. Any significant areas where we should be looking at increases?
I don't think so at this point, until we get more budgets back. Then we'll have to look at contracts, and wages are gonna go up 3%.
Yeah.
Based on the personnel policy.
Okay. With that, next meeting,
We probably should meet in February for sure, because
Oh, absolutely.
February, month from now.
Would you like me to find out when the rest of the budgets will be back from department heads?
Yep.
That Joe, you can get
Yep.
together and
Yep.
do this?
yeah. And then find some dates in February and put that out.
Yeah, budget committee first meeting is usually the last week of February, and then it goes through March.
Yeah, it's pretty much all month. You think you can get those numbers for the veterans' graves and stuff?
The what?
The numbers on veterans' graves? that
Oh, yeah,
we're responsible
yeah.
for?
Anybody else have anything? Motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor? All opposed? So voted. Thank you very much.
February meeting would be the first Tuesday in